First, the lights will flicker on and off. Next...
Dude, can I have some ketchup?
Oh, here you go. Next...
2 truths and a lie. My ex cracked his 12-year-old stepsister. I almost got abducted in the 5th grade, and I got sold for 50 cents on Facebook Marketplace. So actually all of this happened. Hey guys, I'm B. Welcome to therapy.
Things my friend told me and I still stayed. I don't think anyone is prepared for what I'm about to say. She told me I wasn't allowed to say that I was Mexican because I grew up in Washington, not California. Got mad at me when I didn't change in front of her. Asked me in front of a group of people why my boyfriend had so much money. Made fun of a video I made and posted it to her Snapchat story tagging me. And yes, she started off the video mocking me. I told her what makes me anxious, and then she proceeded to trigger my anxiety and then call me insecure and jealous. Would text me my own TikToks, make a comment about them, or ask a question about it, but she wouldn't like the video or anything. Would show up to my door unannounced and bang on it until I let her in. Kicker is that my building has security. Got jealous if I made a friend that she didn't know about. Had an extreme obsession with wanting to meet my family. Anytime they were in town, she would want to come to dinner with us. Got genuinely upset one time because she found out my dad wasn't in my apartment and she thought he would be there, so she got upset when he wasn't. And that's not even everything.
So I was talking to my mom the other day and I was like, who was your maid of honor? Because I didn't know. And I expected her to say someone I knew. And she goes, oh, you don't know her. And I'm like, why? She was like, because I don't talk to her anymore. And I'm like, why not? She goes, I actually don't know. I have not seen her since the year after our wedding. I was like, tell me everything. This tea is 35 years old and it's the most piping hot tea I've ever heard. So my parents got married young. Like my mom was 20, my dad's 23. They have this couple that are their best friends. Let's call them Patty and Dino. I don't know if that's her real name, but I think that is his real name. Patty's my mom's maid of honor. So maybe a year after they get married, they all go to Florida together. And they're staying at my grandparents' condo. So the first night they go out to a bar on the beach and they have a great time. Like my parents remember it as like a memorable, fun night. Anyway, next morning they wake up and Patty is not talking to my mom. And although my mom thought this was weird, she didn't read too much into it because she's like, whatever, maybe everybody was just severely hungover. So that couple wasn't trying to hang out with my parents that day. So my parents said, fuck them, let's go to Disney. So my parents drive to Orlando. They go to Disney for a couple nights. And they get back. Patty still isn't talking to my mom. And Dino's not talking to my mom either, but Dino is talking to my dad. Patty's talking to no one. So they go to the beach. Dino and my dad are talking. No one's speaking to my mom, minus my dad. At one point, I guess my parents are like, okay, we're gonna go get lunch. Do you wanna come? And they're like, no, we're good. And by them, I mean Dino said, no, we're good, to my dad. So they go for lunch. When they get back, the second they get back, the other couple stands up and goes for lunch. So my mom's like, okay. They get back from lunch and then my parents go, okay, we're gonna go back to the condo. And Dino says to my dad, oh, we're gonna stay here for a little bit longer. My dad says, okay, I'll come pick you up at 4 o'clock at this street because it's 1989, whatever. Just meet me at this. My parents go back to the condo and my mom says to my dad, I'm gonna pick them up from the beach. And my dad's like, okay. Dad goes and takes a nap at 4 o'clock. My mom goes to the beach and they're both standing there. They see it's my mom. Without saying a word, both of them get into the back seat of the car. So my mom's now driving them around like a taxi driver. So now in her head, she's irate. She's also insane. So on the way back to my condo, there's a roundabout and she starts going in circles around the roundabout. She goes around the roundabout like 15 times because she's like, surely they will break this silence to say, what the fuck are you doing? You've been driving in circles for 10 minutes. But no, they don't say a word. So they get back to the condo and my mom literally gets out of the car and looks at them and says, pack your shit. Lou's taking you to the airport. And they start freaking out, which is hilarious. So they're freaking out. She starts crying. They're like, Christine. She's like, nope, pack everything. You're out. Goes to the room. My dad's asleep. She goes, wake up. I kicked them out of the condo. And apparently she was laughing too. My dad's like, what? And she's like, I kicked them out of the condo and you have to drive them to the airport. My dad's like, what the fuck? So he wakes up from a nap. He goes out and Dino's going, Lou, I'm sorry. Like my wife, you know, she can be like a little funny sometimes. My dad's like, yeah, sorry, man. Like if she says you gotta go, like now the wife's on the patio sobbing. She's asking my dad if she can apologize to my mom. And my mom is inside going, no, get in the fucking car. My parents take them to the airport. 1989, no flights, no phones. You're not figuring anything out till you get there. Dad leaves them there. Sorry, did I say my parents took them to the airport? I mean, my dad took them to the airport. My dad leaves them there, never saw them again. Heard through the grapevine that they got divorced a year later. Still don't know what the fuck her problem was, but the assumption, I guess, is that her husband was hitting on my mom that night or something. She was nuts, who knows? Anyway, that's the story of my mom's maid of honor. Isn't that juicy? This gets to her. What was your problem, bitch?
Get ready with me story time about how I got catfished. I know what you're thinking. You're like, Bella, how did you get catfished? Don't be stupid. But first of all, it was on Snapchat. And I was 17 at the time. I'm now 20, so I have a little bit more experience and I'm not as stupid as I used to be. And I shouldn't even say I was stupid. I think I was just not, looking into the red flags. And I'm gonna explain exactly what I mean. Okay, so it all started when one day I decided to make a Snapchat account for my fans on YouTube because they wanted to text me. And I was like, okay, I don't see a problem with that. I can do that. So I ended up making an account and I posted it on my YouTube and was like, if you guys want to chat with me, here's my Snapchat, which was a terrible idea, by the way. Long story short, everyone was calling me and freaking spamming my phone. But anyway, so this is how this guy finds me, right? And he ends up adding me on Snap, and I add him back. And I only added a few people, and he was one of them. And he was like, hey, I got your Snap from your YouTube. And I was like, cool, like you have to be real, like you're watching my YouTube, whatever. I didn't really think anything of it. And he's like, snap me, so I know this is actually you. And I snap him, and I'm like, okay, snap me. And he sends me like half of his shoulder. So I'm like, this is a real person, okay? We're gonna call him Joe. So basically, Joe snaps me. Okay, I'm cool. Me and him are snapping back and forth for like 2 weeks. And at this time, I was not like in a relationship. Before y'all say, wait, don't you have a boyfriend? No, me and him were not together at the time, okay? So I was not cheating. Don't even put that on me. So we snapped for 2 weeks. Nothing is weird. Like, nothing's out of the ordinary. He gives me his Insta. He's like, this is my private Insta. Like, I'm gonna let you follow it. And his account was on private. And I'm like, everything is super smooth. Everything is cool. And I'm like, wait, he's actually really cute. Like, he has dark hair. And if you don't know anything about me, I love my men with dark hair, pretty eyes. Like, that's, like, the best combo in my opinion. And that's exactly what he had. And so I was like, okay, he's cute. And he seemed very muscular. He was all tatted up. And at the time, I'm 17. And he was like, he told me that he was 18. But I'm sure he was older than 18 because just... No, he did tell me. He said he would send me a picture. The picture that he did send me was not actual Snap. It was like a picture that he said was from 2 years ago. And I was like, why are you not showing me how you look? And he was like, well, because I don't want, he was like, I'm nervous or something along those lines. And I was like, why are you nervous to show me what you look like, but you send me a picture of what you look like 2 years ago? But in my head, I'm thinking, wait, people that are catfishing are never going to tell you that this is how they look 2 years ago. They're never going to tell you that the picture's fake or that they're not going to show their face. Like, that's not how catfishing works. But I will say he would snap me and he would show me pictures of like his hair, or it'd be snaps of his hair, just weird stuff. So I knew it wasn't like an old man. And then he snapped me a picture of his car. He drove like a BMW. He snapped me pictures of him driving the car and like talking to me. And he had an accent. I'm pretty sure he had like a British accent, something like that. And one day, he actually freaking snapped me, and I was like, okay. And he was, like I told you, like, he looked older, but he was really cute. Was he 18? No, I don't think he was 18 at all. But he was really cute, and I was like, okay, this dude... And by this point, me and him probably talked for, like, 2 months. So it was nothing, like, it was just chill. It was nothing crazy, nothing serious. Okay, but this is where it gets crazy. One day, I'm scrolling through TikTok, and he pops up on my For You page. And I'm like... okay, that's weird. But it's not the fact that he pops up on my For You page that's weird to me. It's the fact that he has 1 million followers on TikTok. And I'm like, wait, so am I talking to him? Because he didn't want to show me his face because I guess he didn't want me to recognize him. He gave me a private Instagram that had like a couple hundred followers. He literally did snap me a picture of himself. So I'm like, I'm talking to this guy.
You'll never be better than me, so you can kill that thought. Crazy things people have said to me as a black girl. I'm not talking about, oh, how long does it take you to do your hair? Oh, do you rebraid your hair every single night? No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about brutality. As you guys can probably tell, I got my hair done, and guess who did it? I did it, my sister did it, and my mommy did it. Starting it off very strong. So I got my weave done, right? So good. I was in art class. This little boy comes up to me and he says, Mimi, why does your hair look like a wig from Shein? He clocked my teeth. I literally clocked my teeth. It didn't even look like a wig from Shein. I'm gonna pop up a photo of it. It looks so good. So blended well. Oh, you know what you look... I can't say that because I don't want to give him no free promo, but when I catch you... Still on the weave flipping topic, I got my first weave ever done, and it was a closure. Mind you, if you're doing a closure, someone that isn't a professional hairstylist is doing it, but knows how to do hair, go to that damn professional hairstylist, pay that $200 because it's going to be worth it. This guy, I hate this man, comes up to me and he's like, your hairline is receding because of that. He looks at me. I was waiting. He looks at me and he's like, your hairline is receding because of my closure. And let me tell you something. My hairline was in fact receding because of my closure. He was just brave enough to say it. Still on the weave topic. I was after school for like this English thing and there was Negro 1, Negro 2, Negro 3. I see a joke about Negro 1 probably. Don't like him. And he turns to Negro 2 and Negro 3. It's giving like Ace and his minions. He's like, you know that's a weave, right? They start laughing. Is that supposed to insult me? And the most embarrassing part is that they were all black. Like, that's the one thing that I hate about black men. Y'all are uneducated hoes. Uneducated. Don't come near my facility. They start laughing and pointing and I'm like, what the fudge? Like, y'all literally have siblings. Y'all are black. Y'all have mothers. Y'all should be educated. Matter of fact, Negro 1, you should not be talking because you can play the background character in Wakanda forever. You will blend in so seamlessly. You wanna know why? Because that bottom lip drops all the way down to the floor. I always mistaken you for someone from Wakanda. Exactly. You don't even need that palette plate because you already have the bottom lip. And Negro 2, I know damn well you should not be talking either. Because if I touch a little particle of your twist, it will come down to the floor. Negro 3, I don't even know if you're black. Now that I think about it, is he even black? I actually don't even know. That was mean and I'm sorry, but when you come after my hair, one of my biggest insecurities, I'm coming after you. And I don't stop. I clock that T. Period. No tampon needed. Still on the weave topic, I was talking about in French class how I wanted to do, you know, like a weave, straight hair, whatever. The same Negro 2 turns around with those little twists of his and says, oh, you will look at, oh, whitewash, oh, shut the fudge up, your uneducated black ass. Why did I swear? You know, y'all, these little black boys get me heated. God, I'm actually so sorry that I swore. I'm now talking about my appearance. There was this one tiny mythical white boy that always commented on my lips. And he would always say, Mimi, shut the fudge up. And I would always say, smile, exactly. And he didn't smile. You know why? Because when he smiles, his lips disappear. Like, don't talk to me. And I only have that towards him because he disrespected me. So I'll disrespect you back. And I know that's something that I actually have to work on, but still, don't disrespect me if you do not want to get clocked by my tea. That same little midget will always go around, literally all the black people saying, who has bigger lip sizes? Oh, whose lips are bigger? Oh, we won't even need to compare lips to know whose lips are smaller. You're definitely at that bottom rank in the whole universe. This one gets me mad. I was hanging out with this guy. We're at the mall. He looks at me and he says, oh yeah, Mimi, I think you need to reach this. Shut the fudge up. I think you need to fix that hunchback on your shoulders. Exactly. Don't talk to me. That's quite literally my life as a black girl. Woo! If you want to see this whole entire video, comment down the clock emoji. If y'all have not updated your phone and y'all have iPhone 11s. Not even hating, I have an iPhone 12. And if this video pops up on your FYP, comment down FYP. But anyways, bye my fellow pedestrians, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. Remember that Jesus loves you. Bye!
Good morning to Rimmel London and Rimmel London only. If you're tired of your makeup looking cakey, try this. Step 1, moisturizing is key. Step 2, Rimmel's multitasker better than filter. Do you want to feel like you're not wearing any makeup? Do you want to feel like you're still glowy even though you are wearing a lot of makeup? Rimmel has got you covered. Why buy 4 products when you can just buy 1? You can wear it on its own, as a primer, under your foundation, as a highlighter. Your glowing and hydrated base is going to give you the best skin ever. This is going into my summer essentials makeup bag.
Long-awaited story time on what happened to me when I was at Walmart alone a couple days ago. We're just gonna get straight into the story time while I do some skincare. A couple days ago, my boyfriend was at work and I was at home alone with the baby. I felt like I needed something to film, so I went to Walmart to pick up some ingredients to make a hair mask. I pull into the Walmart parking lot and instantly there's no spots in the front of Walmart, so like a regular person, I go towards the back of Walmart and park back there because that's where there were spots. When I pull in, there's immediately a black truck, but I didn't think nothing of it. I mean, everyone has black trucks. It's a very common car, but there was a man standing outside of the truck. Again, didn't think nothing of it. Maybe he was waiting to get groceries, whatever the case was. I don't like to think of people in that way. So I just proceeded to park and get my baby out of the car. I'm getting my baby out of the car. This man is staring at me, and I know he's staring at me because I can feel it. You can feel when someone is staring at you. So I keep looking back and he is still staring at me. He watches me get my son out of the car, put my son in the cart, and then he's still staring at me. I then lock my car and start heading towards the Walmart. And I'm a pretty far distance away, so I do have to walk a little bit. I'm walking away, the man stops me and says, "Your lights are still on your car," which was weird. Like, it's just weird. Like, so whatever, I just kind of brushed it off. I looked back at my car. Like, the outside of the car lights were on, but those always turn off because I had locked my car. They always end up turning off. But I did leave the light inside my car on. He didn't see that though. He thought I was talking about like the outside lights of my car. So I go back inside my car and turn off that light. Mind you, it was only on because I was filming a video. It was weird, but again, I brushed it off. I don't like to think of people in that way. So I kept walking and I could still feel him staring at me. So I'm filming, but I'm also looking back and keep looking back because I just see him literally looking at me. Just looking at me. Wouldn't consider it that he followed me. I did say the words he like there was a man following me, but it just kind of felt like that. He wasn't physically following me. It was more just like staring me down. I go into Walmart and everything's fine. I'm getting all of the things. I saw the things for the soup dumplings. I wanted to buy those. And then I was making the video of the hair mask. So I just went about my day and bought my stuff. I didn't see if there was anyone in the store following me because again, my mind didn't click it together. So I wasn't looking out for that. I have no idea if there was anyone in the store following me. I'm not gonna say there was when I didn't see nothing. I had to go and pay for my things. I paid for everything and I'm walking towards my car. I'm exiting the Walmart and I can see the man at my car. He is at my car, like not at his car, he's at my car. I don't think that he saw me coming out of Walmart yet, but once he did see me walking towards my car because I started walking towards my car, he ran back to his car. Mind you, my car's right here and his car's right here. So he literally ran from here and ran over here. I don't know what he did to my car. I don't know if he did anything, but obviously immediately I'm scared. I get to my car, immediately I'm like, this guy was just at my car. I don't know if he put anything in my car. I don't know if he put a tracker on my car. I don't know what the frick this guy just freaking did to my car. He's in his car now. He got inside of his car and he was just waiting, like staring me again because I kept looking at his car and I could see him staring at me. So immediately I don't get in the car. I'm outside of my car. There's like people around me, so I feel safe, but the guy is still staring at me. I call my mom immediately and I tell her the situation. Mind you, my mom is trained for this. So she tells me what to do. She tells me to walk back into Walmart, stay around people. Okay. She calls my uncle. My uncle is military. So he comes from his house and he comes to like basically spy. Not spy, but like spy. He tells me when he gets there to go to my car, get inside of it, and start driving towards my uncle's house, not my house, so that if they do follow me, This whole time, I'm back in Walmart, which is where I filmed that last clip. I'm back in Walmart, and I'm just kind of waiting for my uncle to get there around where my car is at. He gets there, and what you guys didn't see is that I walked to my car and started driving my car towards my uncle's house. My uncle told me, we're gonna see if they follow you, if he follows you, and if he does, then he's got me, he's right there behind me. If he doesn't, I'm gonna drive my car to my uncle's house. My uncle will check out my car, making sure there's no trackers or nothing. Now, I didn't call the police because I didn't know if it was a situation like that serious. I really just I'm the type of person like, oh, okay, it's fine. Like, it's not a big deal, whatever. But you just never know. Once I'm walking out to my car, the guy starts his car whenever I start my car. And I immediately get shaky. Mind you, this whole time I'm on the phone with my mom and my uncle on a 3-way call, just making sure everything is good. I start leaving and now there's another truck with another guy in it and they start leaving as well. After that, didn't see the trucks, don't know what happened. I drove to my uncle's car, he checked it, nothing was there, nothing was out of the ordinary, and it was just gone. To this day, I don't know what their intentions were. I don't know if they were trying to hurt me, if they were trying to hurt my son, whatever. But I'm just glad I took precautions as if they were, because you just never know. Nothing ended up happening. My boyfriend did end up leaving work and I just came home and went live. Everything was regular. To this day, I haven't seen the cars or anything. Hopefully I never do. It was a really scary experience, especially as a 17-year-old mom with a 1-year-old kid. Like, I was all alone, and it definitely was something really scary, and I'm just so glad nothing like worse happened. But yeah, that is a story on what happened. I have no idea what they were trying to do, if they were trying to do anything. So yeah, I wouldn't say following me around the store, but I definitely would say it was a very creepy scenario, and it was very like unsettling. Like, I felt unsafe. This is the story time. Love you guys, and please no negative comments. I really don't need that right now. Love you guys.
Bang, 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 bang,
Okay, so part one of the time that my best friend set me up to be unalived, and I was shot 5 times while 18 weeks pregnant.
Her name on TikTok is Red, but we're just going to call her Red for the sake of story time. She got up here and told us a story time on how her male best friend set her up to be unalived, which then resulted in her being shot 5 times while she was 18 weeks pregnant. Red said during this point in time in her life, she was running the streets, selling dope, and bouncing back and forth between a dude that she was dating and her baby daddy. She said the situation was super toxic, and every time that the dude she was dating and her baby daddy would see each other out in public, they would end up in a physical fight. One day, Red's laid up with her baby daddy when she gets a phone call from one of her homegirls saying that the gambling house in their area got shot up, and the dude that she was dating was there when the shooting happened. Red asked her friend if the dude she was dating got shot. Her friend said no, but 2 other people did. They get off the phone, and Red lays back down. 45 minutes later, Red's phone starts to ring. It's an unknown number, so she sends it to voicemail, but then the unknown number calls right back, so she picks up the phone. I'm to find out it's a detective that's looking for her and asking if she can come down to the police station to answer a couple questions. She gets off the phone with the detective, and then she tells her baby daddy that the police just called her, and at the same time that she's telling him this, the baby daddy's phone starts to ring, and it's the same unknown number. He picks up the phone, and it's basically the same conversation with the detective saying that they need him to come down and answer some questions. Red and her baby daddy decide to just go ahead and go down to the police station, and once they get there, they're separated and put into 2 different interrogation rooms. Once the detective comes in Red's interrogation room, he lets her know that she's a potential suspect in an attempted schmurder. He asks him who he thinks she tried to kill, and that's when the detective tells her that they suspect that she was involved in a shooting that just happened across town at the local gambling house. He asked how her name got involved, and apparently it's because there were 4 people inside the gambling house when the shooting occurred. It was the dude that Red was dating, one of her male friends, and then 2 of the people who ran the gambling house. Apparently somebody came knocking on the door, and whenever one of the people who ran the gambling house went to answer the door, the person who was knocking started shooting the house up. At this point, Red still doesn't understand why her name is involved in it, but come to find out, the dude that she was dating told the police that he believed that Red and her baby daddy shot up the gambling house in an attempt to take his life. Red said that she was investigated for hours and asked everything about her baby daddy, and her whereabouts when the shooting occurred. Red said while she was there being interrogated, she just kept thinking about the situation, and by the time she was allowed to leave, she in her mind had already figured out who did it. Red said her male best friend, the one who ends up setting her up to be unalived, had beef with her other male friend who was inside the gambling house when it was shot up. She said the reason the 2 of them had beef was because her male best friend had been making money in the hood a certain way, and then her other male friend started to make money the exact same way, and it was messing up her best friend's money. Apparently, a few weeks before the shooting, Red's male best friend ran down on her other friend and told him that he had to find some other way to make money in the hood. The male friend apparently didn't listen, and he continued to do what he wanted to do, and so one thing led to another, and the gambling house gets shot up while he's inside. Red leaves the police station, drops her baby daddy off at home, and then she heads straight to her male best friend's house. She gets there, she tells him that she just left the police station because she's been named as a potential suspect in the gambling house shooting, and she said that he looked super shocked and his eyes almost popped out of his head. Red told her male best friend that she wouldn't say anything to the police about him being the one who shot up the gambling house, but if she were to be arrested while she was incarcerated, he better make sure that her mom and her baby were taken care of. Red said for the next few days after talking to her male best friend, she got super sick, she was throwing up, she didn't want to get out of bed, and in the back of her mind, she was convinced that she probably was pregnant. She said that she was hoping she wasn't pregnant though, because like we said, she was going back and forth between the dude she was dating and her baby daddy, so she wasn't 100% sure who the father of the child would be. Not to mention, during all of this, she's still going back and forth to court for a completely different situation that has nothing to do with the gambling house shooting. She goes to court one day. They tell her she can either choose 3 years probation or 1 year in prison, and so she chose the probation because if she is pregnant, she doesn't want to be pregnant and have her baby in prison. Now, one of the stipulations for her probation was that she was not allowed to leave the county that she lived in without her probation officer's approval, but the county that she sold dope in was not the same county that she lived in. To mention the fact that they also gave her a 9 o'clock curfew, so now this situation has fucked up her money. came up with the idea that she would try to be discreet and go in and out of town until like 8 or 8:30 at night selling dope, and then she would make it back home by 9 o'clock in time for curfew, and then she would wait until like midnight or 1 in the morning when it was technically the next day and go back out and continue to do what she was doing. Red said as time passed, her conscience started to get to her because she was worried that something was going to happen to her male friend, the one that her male best friend tried to take out at the gambling house. She said that she felt as though she wouldn't be able to look her male friend's mother in the face if something did happen to him, knowing that she could have done something to try and prevent it. She reaches out to her male friend and lets him know that there's something that she needs to tell him. They eventually meet up, and she tells him that the shooting at the gambling house was actually meant for him. Now, her male friend told her that he had his suspicions about the shooting being meant for him, but he didn't have any confirmation, but now that she had confirmed it, he was going to try to lay low for a little while. A few weeks pass, she still hasn't had her cycle, so she says fuck it, and she takes a pregnancy test. Obviously, it comes back positive. Like we said previously, she wasn't 100% sure who the baby daddy was, so she decided to be honest with both men, and she said obviously that didn't go well, and they called her everything but a child of God, and then both men ended up breaking up with her. One day, Red is riding through the city, and her male best friend, the one who shot up the gambling house, calls her and asks for a ride. She picks him up, they pull out the driveway, he immediately gets a phone call, which she didn't pay any attention to, but after he got off the phone, he said that they needed to stop by the corner store. At the gas station, and he asks her to get out the car, saying that his homeboy needs to talk to her, and she said she didn't think anything of it because his homeboys would sometimes buy dope from her. So she gets out the car, she grabs her purse, and his homeboy had been parked in a van behind the corner store. They approach the van, her best friend opens the door, she sees her best friend's homeboy in the driver's seat, she sees somebody in the passenger seat whose face she can't see, and then there's some random man in the back seat. Her and her male best friend get in the van, so now it's this random dude in the back seat to the left of her, she's in the middle in the back seat, her male best friend is to the right of her in the back seat, her male best friend's homeboy is in the driver's seat, and then she recognizes who's in the passenger seat. It was her male friend who her male best friend had tried to shoot at the gambling house. She said that she could immediately tell something wasn't right, so she asked what was going on. That's when homeboy in the driver's seat turns around and is like, "What is this I hear about you telling your friend that we tried to shoot him at the gambling house?" She looks at her friend in the passenger seat like, what the fuck? And that's when she looks to her left and sees the dude in the back seat with a pew-pew in his lap. So she's playing dumb. She looks at her friend in the passenger seat and is like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I didn't tell you shit." And she said that her friend in the passenger seat was silent and didn't say anything. That's when homeboy in the driver's seat is like, "Yeah, your friend reached out to me and told me that you told him we tried to unalive him." She keeps denying it, and that's when she reaches in her purse and pulls out her pew-pew and tells them to let her the F out the van. She eventually is able to make her way out the van, gets in her car, and she leaves. She said a few minutes pass by and her phone starts to blow up, and it's her male best friend and her other male friend who was in the passenger seat trying to get a hold of her. She ignores their calls, and she turns around and tries to call her baby daddy, hoping that he'll come around as like a form of protection, but he's not answering the phone because he's still upset about everything with the pregnancy and her not knowing who the father of her child is. So she turns around and she calls the other dude that she had been dating, and he does pick up the phone. So she's telling him how much she loves him, and you know this is your baby, and a whole bunch of sugar-coated lies, and he ends up forgiving her, and they get back together. She said her male friend who was in the passenger seat who snitched on her for telling him that the gambling house shooting was meant for him, he stopped trying to get in contact with her. Her male best friend who got her to drive up there was still trying to contact her. Red said her family owns a restaurant in her city, so her male best friend pulled up to the restaurant and was talking to her mom, saying, "Hey, I'm trying to get a hold of Red, can you tell her to call me?" Her mom gets nervous because according to Red, she's the only one who lives the street life and her family don't live like that at all. So the mom calls her and is like, "Hey, so-and-so is just here looking for you, are you okay?" And that's when Red decides to reach out to him. They eventually meet up, and Red said that she was going off on him, telling him how fucked up he was because she would never do something like that to him, and that's when he's telling her that he had no clue what they were planning on doing. Considering he was her best friend, she chose to believe him. They move on from the situation, time passes, and then Red said that one day her homegirl called her and was like, "Hey, pull up on me, we're cooking at my house." Said that she was always ready to eat considering the fact that she was pregnant, so she went over there, she ate, and she was hanging out with everybody. Now, while she's hanging out with her homegirl, her male best friend calls and he's asking for a ride again. But she said this time she was skeptical because of everything that happened last time, so she told him that she was too busy doing something and she would just call him later to see if he still needed the ride. 2 hours pass, he calls again, she once again tells him that she's too busy, and then an hour later he calls again and he's like, "Look, I don't need a ride for what I originally needed a ride for, but now I need a ride to do this big rug deal, and if you're willing to drive me, then I'll split the money with you." And once money came into the equation, she eventually agrees. She's getting ready to head out. That's when the cousin asked where she was going. She told the cousin, and the cousin's like, "Well, can I ride with you?" And Red said yes. Red and her cousin pull up on her male best friend. He gets in the back seat, but Red said he wasn't talking the entire drive. But she just assumed that maybe he felt like there was still tension between them because of what happened the last time. They eventually pull up in a trailer park. There's a bunch of trees to her left. There's a group of people near the passenger side of her car, and it's super dark out there. Her best friend gets out the car, goes in the trailer, and that's when she hears a girl who was in that group of people near the passenger side of her car say, "Who is that?" Red assumed that the girl was talking about her, so she went to roll her window down to tell the girl not to worry about who the F she was. But that's when the girl looks past the car and once again is like, "Who is that?" So Red looks in the direction that the girl's looking in, and that's when she sees somebody creeping through the bushes. As the dude gets closer, she notices that it's the same dude that was in the backseat of the van with the pew-pew on his lap. He gets closer, she sees him pull a pew-pew out of his waistband, and he immediately starts shooting the car, and that's when her and her cousin start to scream and try to duck. Once the shooting stops, Red is leaned over near the passenger seat where her cousin was sitting, and then she hears the dude jiggling the door handle trying to open the driver's door. So when Red sits up, and once he sees her sit up, he once again starts to shoot up the car. She throws the car in reverse, and she manages to get out of there. Makes it down the street, she pulls over, she asks her cousin if she's hit, the cousin's like no, and that's when Red's like, well, I'm hit and I think I'm gonna die. Red said all she could smell was her blood and her flesh burning from the hot bullets. That's when her cousin tells her to switch seats so she can rush her to the hospital. As the cousin's driving her to the hospital, Red starts to check her body for injuries because she said she was in nursing school before she messed it up by getting her first charge. Got a cramping feeling in her chest, so she figured that she got shot in the chest. She looks down and she sees that she got shot twice in her left leg and that one of the bullets was like half an inch away from her artery. She got shot in her like hip butt area. She leaned back in the car and she felt a pain in her back, so she realized that she was shot in the back as well. So she's been shot 5 times. So she tries to calm herself down because she realizes that if she starts to freak out, she's going to bleed out faster. She takes the strap from her purse and uses it as a tourniquet on her leg. It's a towel that she had in her car, rolls it up and kind of like sits on it to try to stop the bleeding back in her hip area. Takes her shirt off, rips it up, takes part of the shirt and stuffs it in the hole in her back, and then uses the other part of her shirt to stuff it in the hole in her chest. She said that her cousin managed to get them to the hospital that was 15 minutes away in like 7 minutes. During the drive, she's thinking she's going to die, so she starts to try to call her mom because she wants to tell her mom and her son goodbye and that she loves them for the last time, but unfortunately her mom's not answering the phone. But I'm running out of time. Come back for part 2.